Okay guys, I ran out of methane fluoride stripper. I ran out on this job doing these little roof section, so thank goodness I had enough to do the first coat with it. So I've never tried this so-called non-toxic stripper yet, and so let's see if it even does anything close. So far it's about I'd say 2 to 3 times as much money as the old stuff, and these people in California keep voting for this kind of thing to save the world. And guess what? It's gonna take now probably twice as much work to do it, so it's gonna cost you 2 to 3 times as much money. So when you go to get work done and you wonder why it's so expensive, this is why, because you vote for this kind of crap. So anyway, let's give it a shot and see if it works. So I've got a nice ample thick coat on here. I noticed it's starting to react a little bit. A little bit more surprised than I thought it would be. It does still smell. It's like it's got some pretty good toxins in here, so maybe it does something. Because I'm sure that the non-toxic stuff, like the citrus strip, for this particular application, I mean, that works okay for water-based paint. That's about it. Well, surprisingly, on the earlier coats, on the easier coats, it took it off fairly easily in about the recommended time. But right now, if you notice, there's this white on here, right? Usually what I do is I'll take a wire brush and kind of agitate the next coat, the next surface, and I'll kind of leave the other stripper on there. That way I don't take it all off. Waste it like that, especially with how much this stuff is a quart. $50 a gallon versus the other stuff I used to get was like 20 a few years back, wasn't that long ago. So 50 some odd dollars, I think it was 57 a gallon. So I just got a quart to see how it works. You know, it's just expensive and it doesn't work quite as good. You can obviously see it's not like the other time when I put it on here. I would have been taking off the next coat down already with one coat of stripper. I would have had this to almost a raw metal with 2 coats. I've already done one with the other stuff, methane fluoride, and it was a milder version of the methane fluoride stripper, not the really harsh one that they, you know, Aircraft or Jasco. That's more harsh. Anyway, that's how well it works. It seems to take off the easy stuff, but then when it gets to this harder, older finish, which has probably got lead in it, that's probably why it's a little harder to get off, then it's going to require me to use a stripping wheel and put it into the air and breathe it. So that's a great idea for emissions, isn't it? What do you guys think? Think that'll save the world? Probably kill me, but it'll save the rest of the world, right? Nah, I don't think it will at all. It just puts more particulates in the air. I think some people are looking to get a paycheck and not to do the right thing for emissions. That's what's happening in California. That's probably going to happen everywhere pretty soon. And I think this stuff saves the world. All they're doing is basically saving their job, saying, hey, you know what, I reduced emissions by, 25%, but I raised them. I reduced emissions over here 25%, but I raised them 25% over here because now I have to do it twice to get the same results as I did before. Did that really help anything? No, that didn't help anything. So that's kind of where we're at with the emissions are in California. It's gotten to the point where they're not really doing anything. They're just churning. They're just churning numbers to make it look like they're doing something. You know, if they really want to do something, really what they should do is go by the total lifespan. So from the time you create it to the time you demolition it, look at all the emissions that are in that whole time period and lower that number. That's the only effective way to do it, by just saying, oh, I'm going to lower, carbon emissions from this product, but it's going to raise them over here. That doesn't help. So anyway, all it does is just make jobs for people doing emission stuff. It makes it you end up spending more money on things like having your cabinet stripped, because you got to pay twice as much for labor, right? So yeah, you created a job one place, it cost yourself a ton of money, takes all the money out of the middle class. That's really what you guys are doing if you vote for that crap. I don't vote Democrat. That's because of that reason alone. So anyway, it did take off the first layer of paint, which I don't know if that really helped much. Let's put another coat on here over this white stuff, which came off really easily with the methane fluoride stripper, which I don't have any more of to compare it to, but if you take my word for it, that took off one coat, basically. I was taking off about 4 to 5 with the other. And Aircraft or Jasco, which has more methane fluoride in it, would have probably taken off even more. So anyway, let's try another coat. Well, there you go, guys. Put the last coat on. Big giant roadblock. It just doesn't want to strip any further past that. So the easy stuff came right off. The hard stuff, it just can't handle it, just like I thought. So do the non-calcium fluoride strippers work as good as the calcium fluoride strippers? Absolutely not. Are they going to save the earth? You know, probably not, because I imagine this stuff still smells. I mean, I smell some pretty strong chemicals there, and I imagine doing it 2 or 3 times to get the same result is probably going to put just as much or even more emissions in the air. So did we really do something good? You know, that's what we're at now. You know, California in the beginning was doing the right thing. Okay, we were lowering our emissions because cars were a big problem. When I was young, they had stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 smog alerts all summer long. Now we don't have them anymore. But why don't we just raise our right hand and say, great, we did it, we saved it, and just stop right there and realize, okay, we can only go so far with this. No, they're trying to go to 0. It doesn't work. You can't go to 0. All you're going to do is rob from Peter to pay Paul. So in other words, you lower emissions on this, you raise them over here. So we're at that point now. So people, you need to understand, you're not going to save the earth by doing this stuff. It doesn't work. All right? I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe, or dislike, whatever. Talk to you in the next one. I'm just going to be real about it. Talk to you in the next one.